Hello guys, so welcome back to the Crew 2. Nope, that's Summit number 25, Coast to Coast. That's what we're gonna do. They say the USA is the perfect place for road trips. From New York to Los Angeles and everything else in between, this summit will give you a taster of what a real coast to coast adventure feels like. That is indeed what is going on here. Pretty much long hypercar races for this summit, which is the pre-ultimate for this batch. The last one will be next week, obviously. The smoking tires is also going to be a bit of a special one, as you will see. Let's fast travel to the HQ and see what's going on. How bad or how good did we do last week? I don't know. Haven't done much afterwards. By the looks of it, seems to be platinum. I think we had 1.3 million, 350 even, 41st place. I think I actually done better than with my other driver. In the Porsche Addict, 1.394 for the top 3. 1.391, 1.390, yep. So we win the fame pack, we win the remaining parts for those for that boosted set for rally rate. And we also win the Porsche 959. I think we have the Porsche 559 already, so in that case we're gonna get a refund of bucks, I think. And some yellow lightning smoke, which is epic and exclusive for the summit, seeing it is a platinum reward. Let's collect and see what we get back. 504,000 bucks we get back. That is not bad, seeing I only paid about 400 for that Porsche. That is a bit something that they did not take in consideration, apparently. People who have the season pass get 20% discount and they buy these cars for like 80% of the full price. But if you already have the car and you win one of these cars in the summit, you get 100% back, so you actually make profit. This week, Coast to Coast, fame pack, a customization pack for the Bugatti Divo, the Mini Countryman All 4 Racing. Kinda in a way looking forward to that car, because it was a pretty good one in the Crew 1, but it was not in this game, this rate spec of the Mini Countryman, so we will see if it's still as good. It is a bit narrow and it flips over quite easily, at least that's what I remember from it, from the Crew 1, but it was a pretty fast one. Platinum is a neon white epic tire, which I'm assuming it's also more or less exclusive. Next week, smoking tires. You can take that literally, but yeah. At first I thought, well, this could be fun. If you look in next week's summit, drift, 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 drift is all you see. So basically, next week, the last one of batch number 2 is all about drift. But then I was thinking a bit more about it, and actually, this might be the closest summit ever, because a lot of people are going to score 500, 600, 700,000 points in all of these drift events. And that will result in a summit score of 155, 156,000 points in these 5 drift events. The speed trap people will do with a team, they get maximum speed, also there they more or less get a maximum score. And then low altitude and slalom are also point based. So the way I see it, it's going to be a very tight battle in all of these events, with more or less similar scores to at least for the top 100 or even top 250 or so. So it's gonna come down to this thing here, the combo event with the Aventador on a touring car track. I believe it's Golden Hills. I hope it is not the one with the 9 resets. Well, there are 3 resets, but it's 3 laps, so that makes it 9 resets. I hope it is not that track, because yeah, this is the most important one from this whole summit, I think. But that is all for next week. And by the looks of it, we also need to buy the Aventador. Need to have a look what the price on that thing is. Coast to Coast this week, boy smashing. Although it is a pink skill test, not advisable to do it with a jet sprint, because that thing is first of all too slow, and secondly way too small. If you go to one of those packs of 325 green boys with 325 points. You're only gonna hit half of them with a jet sprint. So you need some wide, big ass powerboat to get all of them at once. A low altitude, that is also both of these event score breakers needed with skilled. And the escape, that's something we'll figure out when we go there. All the rest is pretty much an air race. Okay, we'll figure that one out. A powerboat with the demon, yeah, that is as good as no restrictions because the demon is the best powerboat. So even if there were no restrictions in this event, people would take the powerboat. Hello, Jory. And then, of course, we have these three hypercar things. This one is with the 4GT, that is Big Land. That's more or less a normal track, meaning 2, 3, 4 minute track, something like that. That's normal. And then we have the other three, which is a bit of a problem. This one is Detroit, somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, depending on your speed. This one is, of course, New York to San Francisco, somewhere between, on average, somewhere between 30 and 35 minutes. But of course, you have the fast boys, and seeing these tracks have no traffic in the summit, world records are being broken. GoPro Amex had 24:16 in the campaign event, I think, but that is with traffic and all of that kind of stuff. Now there is no traffic, of course. He had another look, and I noticed that he, let's see if he improved me. Well, no, he hasn't, but he's going under 24 minutes, 23:56. That is definitely not what we are gonna get. We're probably gonna aim for something around 30 minutes or just under it. That is what we're gonna go for. With my other driver, I used the Bugatti Divo Magma Edition, and I did it 29.10, which is the fastest time I've done so far on this track, I think. And also, this is a hypercar, Los Angeles to Seattle, I think, but we have to do it with a touring car. But the track is a hypercar event. But first thing first, so we collected those parts. Let's get sort that out first, because otherwise, 3 parts only, because about 2 or 3 weeks ago we won the other 4 parts. But they are boosted. They have pure 9, which pure only goes to 8 normally, and they have extra pump 11, and extra pump only goes to 10 normally. The only problem is, where did we put the 4 parts? Right. Presumably I put them on a rally rate car somewhere, but yeah, we're gonna have to gamble and have a look. It's not on here, that's for sure. On the Porsche maybe? Yeah, I put them on the Porsche. So we've fit in these 3 remaining parts to complete our set. Extra pump 75%, pure 66% is the normal, but because these parts are boosted, pure 9%, extra pump 11, the total is extra pump 82% and pure 73. So you get a few percentages more pure and extra pump in this case. Other than that, pretty much the perfect race setup, also for rally rate. Nitro Chemist with pure and extra pump. We'll just leave that be on the Porsche that sorted out that stuff. What do we need? We need a touring car, right? Let's have a look if there's a bundle available. Coast to coast. We have the powerboat already. We already have the 4GT, so that is all looking very fine. That means that we only have to buy the Gallardo, and which is part of the bundle. We can still buy the bundle because it will just only give us a price for the Gallardo with 30% discount. As a season pass holder, we already have 20% discount. So instead of buying this thing for 700,000, we more or less can get it for 400,000, which is very good news. Because that means that we actually would for once have some money left. 740,000 we have left. That's a very good news because we need to buy a Lamborghini Aventador drift spec next week. I do not have that thing. Off we go. Let's see what we can do on a Saturday. Now let's have a look on the overall scores and so. Because we have these long events, there might be quite a few people who actually are skipping this thing. What I haven't mentioned yet, of course, is these two are the last summits of batch number 2, and then, as more or less announced already in the article on the website, I think it even is mentioned, they will repeat the first 3 premium summit: Rising Sun, Untamed Italians, and Flying Germans. That means you have a shot at winning the Mitsubishi Lancer Red Fury edition again, in case you missed it the first time, which was the second summit of the whole series. Summit number 6, Untamed Italians, where you can win the Hurricane Performante. And summit number 10, the Flying Germans, which I think you can win the Porsche, yeah, the Porsche Cayman Wasp edition. And we win some boosted parts here for Drift, so also there, and here you win the remaining boosted parts for Drift. So also there, they fit them in as well. After that, the third batch of summits is going to start. That will be somewhere mid-November. I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to do a little bit of a live stream about that? Next to that summit and all that kind of stuff, what is coming into the game. There will be some other stuff coming. Whether it is now or a bit later, they're going to spread it out. So are they going to do a live stream about it, or are they just going to do a article on the website about it? I have no idea. I have not gotten that information yet, but we will see when the time is there. Approaching mid-November, I'm pretty sure you will hear something about it. Other than that, anything else going? Yeah, we still have the contest. It's more or less over. Some sort of giveaway contest. We're giving away 6 gold editions for reaching almost 2,000 subs. We're a few subs short of 2,000 on YouTube. So we're giving away 6 gold editions. I got some mails. I don't know, about 12 I think or so of people that participated, because yeah, kind of normal. I did not expect hundreds of mails to come in, because the majority of the people watching my channel, they already have a gold edition or a motor edition, so they do not participate. That is for tomorrow. I will do a live stream on YouTube around 6 PM European time, and then we'll see what we do. Maybe talk a bit about the community, about the game with the community, and then of course somewhere in between we give away the keys. Time to start all this, coast to coast. What the time is it? Saturday 8 PM. Is that a good time to go to boy smashing? Yeah, of course, you get a discount. Like in this case, the bundle is 30% discounted, so it's like if you have already 2 cars and you just need to buy the third one, you're gonna get 30% discount, no matter what. But I'm thinking here, Saturday 8 PM. Well, we'll have a look. We'll have a look if the boy smashing is actually something we could do. If there are a bunch of people around, there's no point in doing it. There's no point in doing it as it is because it's raining. Settings, let's have a look. Also here, I have a race setup on it, which is very bad. Now that I think of it, it's boy smashing. I need my score breaker set. Okay. Yeah, I don't have 150 sets around. I just have one of each, basically. Which means you have to switch up the parts every time. That is just how it goes. I'm not grinding all these events to get 17,000 sets. I just mix them up. This one is a mix of everything, but it has on all of these 7 parts, it has a skilled 10 normally. Yeah, the skilled is 75%, so that is maxed out, and all the rest is whatever I could find. A bit of extra pump, a bit of frenetic, a bit of pure. There is even some ventilated on it. It's totally something you don't need. Well, although on a powerboat it's not that bad. If you jump over the waves, your nitro refills. That's that. Settings. Let's have a look. They seem to be fine as well. 0, 10, 10, 10. 4 and 6. That is usually what I do with the boy smashing. If it's for racing, I put the hull friction at 8 or so, and then the trim tabs 7, 6, 7, 8, bit of twisting around, and the drift assist sort of halfway. But for this boy smashing thing, I just go with this setup. That should work, I hope. Okay, we have a hovercraft here in front of us. Now it's switching to a jet sprint. Yeah, this is, for me, this is a problem. If they want to show other people in the world, I'm all fine with that, but not in a skill test. As soon as you hit this gate, they should go into ghosting or something, or disappear, I don't care. That was how it was in the beginning. Apparently that was a bug. Was not intentional, because they wanted to be like, that you could see other players. But they didn't think it through very well, did they? Seeing other players is all fine, but not in a summit environment, which is supposed to be a competition, but yeah, also there. They want to see as many people as possible play the summit, so they've sort of made it, yeah, pretty casual. Can't really call it competitive. If it would really be competitive, you would not have something like back on track in this thing. They just disable it if you really want to make it competitive. If you make a mistake, you restart, that's it. But all that kind of stuff is in here for the kids and the casuals. That was too wide. I think I hit a red one at the end. $60,400, that is definitely not perfect, but at least it's a decent score. What are they doing here meanwhile? 157,600, yeah, that's good enough for me. 71,788 is, that could be as well be the maximum score if you hit every single green buoy. I'm not 100% sure. Normally Lord Bokus over here is also one of those guys that usually goes for all the, he has 69.9. So I guess he missed a few. Maximum score in any of these events is 157,850 points. So if we look on that first guy there, does he have that or not? No, he doesn't have it. 157,786. Both of these guys have that, top two, although they have a different score. So maybe you can go a bit faster, possibly, although I don't think there's a time bonus in this. But we have 157,600. So even if we hit everything perfect and as fast as possible, we can win 250 points more. Not gonna bother with that. If you know that in some of these time attacks a second is more than 1,000 points, yeah. This is low altitude. Also here I have no idea. Maybe I should have checked that. Go back to the summit. Double checking to make sure that I have a score breaker on, because also here this is a score based event, you need a score breaker. I think normally I have that on the Harman. Yeah, I do. Skilled 75%. Also here score breaker set with skilled and max it out to skill 10 in each of these parts. You have 5% from the pilot menu. That is what people sometimes forget, especially if you're like low level. Always check your icon points. You also need the skilled here. Gives you 5% extra. 70 and 7 instead of 75. And while we are here, put on the remaining part on rich, which makes us more bucks. All the rest is filled in. As soon as you hit level 675, you can fill all these 25 pointers completely in, so that's fine. We have a bunch of parts to collect as well, but that's for later. All fine. We have the score breaker. Off we go. Hey Ghost, no, did not try it out, and I also have no intention in trying it out. I've seen that thing cost like 55 bucks. 75 if you go for the Ultimate Edition, and for me that is not worth it. That is not worth it. I was watching some stream the other day from, I think it was Jimmy Broband or something, and they were like discussing the price of games and such, and he sort of said like, well, if I can play 1 hour for every buck that I pay for the game, then it's a good game for me. And in a way I can follow him there, but I play pretty hardcore. That means that yeah, I always try to get the campaign done as fast as possible, that kind of stuff. So for me, I think it's sort of a 2-to-1 situation. Meaning that for every buck that I pay, if I can play 2 hours, then it's fine for me. For instance, this game, I pre-ordered the gold edition, which costed me 90 bucks. So with a 2-to-1 situation, is this a good game? If I pay 180 hours, it sort of is. I have more than 1,000 hours in this game. So then for me, this is a good game. With Grid on the other hand, I've been watching some people like Paraglider and iSet and even Don't Want Song, although I'm not a fan of him, but he also plays pretty hardcore. So those are like, oh my god. Those are like kind of channels that you can check. And yeah, these guys sort of went through the whole campaign in about 2 days. So then I already know if I gonna pay like 75 bucks for the Ultimate Edition, that should mean for me that I would like to get like 150 hours of gameplay out of that game. And yeah, if you can finish it in 2 days campaign-wise, then it only left to do is yeah, try some other cars on certain tracks, or go to multiplayer, I guess. Although that's not famous and super by the looks of it. So then for me it's not worth it. I never in a million years are gonna get 150 hours out of that game. So I'm not, I'm skipping it. And that's sort of probably gonna be the same with Need for Speed Heat. I've been looking at that, and for me that is a combination of Need for Speed 2015 and Payback. So that their last two titles that they have combined, and that's now with some engine swaps, which are already not a favorite of. Some extra stuff in there compared to those games, but still it's the same structure. Messing about with cups, willing or not, because you need reputation, and you can only get your reputation points at night with the cups. So also that is probably a game that I will skip, because I'm also not gonna get the 2-to-1 playtime compared to the $1, let's call it that. 38, not good enough, I guess. What are people scoring here? 46, okay, we need to go over 40. Let's concentrate a bit. And try to miss the dividers this time. Like even Forza Horizon 4 was pretty close. I think I don't remember exactly, but I think I paid like 125 for the VIP edition, which sort of means doing a 2-to-1 situation. I would like to have 250 hours of gameplay in that game, and that is sort of what I have, even a bit more, I think. But so yeah, then it's worth it. I don't find it a super game, but it's worth it then for me. But that's not the case with Grid, from what I've saw so far. 41.3. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is like, yeah, but yeah, okay, it's gaming, you know. You have these devs working on all of these games. These devs need to be paid one way or another. we as the players, we're gonna have to pay them one way or another, you know. Whether that's with a VIP pass or with a season pass or with some microtransitions. They have skipped the microtransitions out of the game of Need for Speed Heat, so you don't have to spin a wheel to get good parts or that kind of stuff with some sort of microtransition currency. But then they will figure it out another way to make money. So what I'm thinking that you can expect from NSF Heat now that they got rid of the upgrading transition system, let's call it that. So you can upgrade, you can swap your engines, you can all do that more or less with in-game bucks, I'm assuming. But then they will find another way to get your money. My guess for Need for Speed Heat, that would mean that they're gonna drop all kind of car packs, exclusive cars or whatever. You're gonna have to buy those packs. If not, then you don't have those cars, something like that. One way or another, you're gonna have to pay for the wages of the devs, you know. That it's gaming. But that all doesn't matter that much if it's a good game. Then it doesn't matter if you pay for it. But in my honest opinion, I don't think NSF Heat is going to be a good game. Okay. Yeah, we've done this on my other driver, which is a very tricky business here with a what do we have here on this driver? That's also a good question. Tricky business here. This is the muddy set. Not gonna use that one. Not so tricky if you drive with a wheel, probably. I'm assuming. But for pad and controllers and a keyboard, it's pretty tricky to do this thing with a drag car. So I'm first gonna set a score with something which is supposed to be fast. Maybe LaFerrari or so. Let's see. Can do the Chirons, yeah, the Chiron, the Devo, that kind of stuff. It's like they're also not super great. Let's try the Devo. No. Going back. I think we have to go for the best Bugatti. And the best Bugatti is this one. Although people have problems with steering and all that kind of stuff because it's, yeah. Same here. It steers pretty okay, but if you have like S corners where you have to go left, right, left, that kind of shit, then it doesn't steer that great. But this thing is not even maxed out yet, I've noticed on this driver, as you can see. Millions of scrap points, 4.8 million, but not enough bucks to recalibrate all that stuff. That's always a problem. €35 for the Ultimate Edition, Thomas. Yeah. Yeah, you have like those, what is that, G2A and all those kind of websites with like they have like used copies and that kind of stuff. I never do that. I want to have my own copy, and I just support the game as much as I can by just buying it in the official store. I like to have my games on Steam, for instance, which is not always possible. But like for instance, my main driver of this game is on Steam. Now this driver is on the Uplay, because yeah, this is more or less a gifted copy. So they sort of gave me like I don't remember how it was. It's like a code that we could redeem on the Uplay store or something like that, I think. That's why I have this game on Uplay. But I like to have all my games on Steam, but that's not always possible, you know. Like for the new Grid, or what is it, the new WRC. You have some sort of deal with Epic Gaming, the Fortnite store crap there. You can only buy the game there for the first year. go look on Steam for WRC8, for instance, it says available September 2020. It's like, yep, okay, 1 year from now. Also that, yeah, I have sometimes a strange mind when it comes to that. But also that is something that already for me is good enough reason to not buy WRC8. That exclusivity deals crap, I don't need that. We could buy all the other games on Steam for the past years. WRC 6 and 7 and all that, and now they have this stupid thing with that Fortnite crap store. I don't enjoy that. Other than that, of course, I have checked it out, and there are 2 new rallies, I think, Argentina and Turkey. But other than that, it's the exact same tracks as in WRC 7. So also that is a game I will totally skip. Occasionally you need some variety, you know. Most of the tracks and the events are the same as in WRC 7, so. My other driver eventually used the Egoista, I think. And I managed to do, oh my goodness. Throw a buzz at me as well, why not? But I managed to get this double lefter, and then you go right. And at that moment, you saw the thing opens up. But not that being said, just gonna try the other side. Because going that way, there's too many corners. With the drag car you have to go the other way, because if you go this way, you go to Key West and yeah, there's no more road. It's like it's the end of the world in a way. You can't go any further, so you have to come back over this highway if you wanna escape. All looks grey, the walls look grey, the road looks grey with when it's raining. I really don't know what he likes about it. About the weather trash. But yeah, there are some people out there on the top of the chain who like these weather conditions or whatever. That's why we have this graphic. While the majority of the players are a bit fed up with the weather. The end of the world on the cruise ship there. So yeah, if you can make it to the cruise ship, the circle always gonna catch up with you because you can't go any further. Where are we? 4,900. What are people doing here? 44 kilometers. Okay, very nice. So yeah, this is not the way to go. You have to go the other way. Screw Epic and their launcher, I will wait a year. Yeah, well, yeah, that's at first what I was talking as well, but then, yeah, more than likely going to have WRC 9 next year. Can only hope that that will just be available on Steam. But yeah, I don't know. At this moment, I'm sticking to the Crew at the moment and a bit of the Division. Although the Division crashes a bit, I think my processor is a bit underpowered for that game. Still waiting on the new PC. It is ordered. That should be able to run every single game that is out there at the moment, but they said 10 working days, so more than likely that's going to be like 2 weeks and a half before I actually have it. And we're waiting for not even a week, I think, so yeah, still about a week and a half to go. Are we gonna do with this? What do I have with my other drivers? Not that much more, 5,100, so that did similar thing, I think. What are people scoring here? 157,848, almost top score, 27 kilometers. Yeah, if you go over 50 kilometers, then you probably get the maximum score. And they're using the Stingray. Oh, I don't want to use the Stingray on this string, but yeah, 119,000 is not good enough. Not compared to the other scores that they have out there. So we have no other choice. I'm gonna leave these parts on here because I'm going to have to use this thing for New York. Because I don't have any Vista on this driver. As usual, no money to buy it. We do have the Stingray, yeah. Sequential forward gear, up we go. Well, the other way actually. I do think these things wall rise. So it might be possible you can just slam into the wall to get out of this twisty section in the beginning. Very possible. We will see. Yep. Full lock steering with the keyboard. And a wheel driver just steers that thing without a problem. Okay, go right as I thought. Why don't you put a button here as well? Get away from the wall, this stupid magnetic thing. Even if you're not on the wall, it still powers it into it. Get out of my way. Thank you. Of course, use traffic to bounce into them. But I already noticed this the other day on my main driver. You managed to get out of there. Then you cannot hit any traffic. Like here, just okay. It's a wall tap. I know that, but for some reason or another, it goes like a magnetic field. It pulls itself into the wall and it sticks to that wall. That's the problem. Instead of bouncing up it. Yeah, these cars, they are like AI crap things, you know. They put them every time you come out of the corner. I've had it with this. Sometimes I have it with physics of these things. But the main problem I have with the skill tests is that they do not restrict them. About a year and a half ago in the workshop, we already told them, restrict them or you're gonna get this shit. Everybody using drag cars in the skill test. It's boring as hell. They could do the same speed trap or escape or whatever. They could do it like 5 different summits with 5 different disciplines if they would restrict it. But no, just like in the crew one. No, needs to be open. People do what they do. Whatever sport out there, if there's some sort of competition going, people don't do what they do. They follow the rules of the competition. But in this game, oh, let people do what they want to do. Then don't make it. You can make a summit, but call it something different, and don't call it the competition on your website. Makes no sense if it's not competitive. After every corner a car that you cannot go on the top. Okay, what is going on here? Have we changed the settings for some reason on this driver? Because why does it break out so easy? No, we haven't. Aero on 6, camber on 7.7. That's how I always had it. Just not enough speed to, that's why we spin out, I think. Yeah, it's like it's... The most annoying part is you have to use a drag car. That's the most annoying part. Because they don't bother to restrict it, or they counter it, but yeah, that's like... The workshop was in March 2018. We very clearly stated there, like, don't do that, don't do it, restrict these things. Yeah, we'll look into it. Yep. But it's not with their vision, I'm assuming. So they stick to their casual vision. Let's all play the summit, and then yeah, let's all do whatever we want. That's why we are driving now again in drag cars. We've been doing it for 4 years in the Crew 1. This is a wonderful wall, isn't it? That corner. If it's not other players, then it's the traffic that's bothering me. And then people wonder, why are you no longer playing for, like, I used to do in the Crew 1, like, for top 10, top 5 overall. Well, yeah. That's one of the reasons. Next to all those stupid resets and cuts, which also that just disable the back on track, don't have all that stuff happening. But no, people make mistakes and they put themselves back on the track. Yep. Then you have the users coming in and the user reset and every corner that they can. Okay. Went a bit off throttle there. But we actually survived the corner this time. It's more right wall here. Oh yeah, it does. It does, so people are probably just slamming into the wall to get out of this city here. Because yeah, as soon as you reach this bridge here, it completely opens up and you can drive all the way to New York. And maybe even further as well. So we're still stuck on 119, wonderful. We'll have a look on that later if needed. Air race, need to check the plane. Air race, what else do we need? The powerboat, need to change the planes parts on that one as well. Touring car parts, that's something from last week, I think. They also need to change while we are here. I can pick them up. And put them on this thing that we need. For one of these tracks here. Yeah. They already changed that. In the beginning, it was kind of okay with the back on track, because it sort of put you way back than where you were to begin with, which was not that bad. It's some sort of penalty system. There needs to be some sort of penalty system in it. If you go off track, that's making mistakes. You should not make mistakes, especially when it matters in something like a summit where time matters. You should not be able to get an advantage from that thing. It should put you way back or whatever. You made a mistake, you get a penalty for it. Or like they do in Forza, slows you down for 5 seconds or whatever. Because by the looks of it, they have no intention to put extra checkpoints on there or whatever. That's all fine. Well, it's not fine, but okay, we can live with it if they just take out this back on track. Now you have like way too many corners where don't have checkpoints, and then on top of that you have the back on track, which can be used all over the place. Yeah. And then people ask, why are you not playing for the top 10 anymore? Yeah, well, there are some of the answers. The powerboat, and we need an air race plane as well, right? We have the part on here, I think, right? Which the old setup on this driver. That means perfectionist and gateway on it, but you actually don't need a perfectionist. So something like pure and gateway is probably the best setup. What is that here? Sniffer set. No, don't need that either. What are we gonna use? Also that Spitfire totally does not work for me. So we're gonna use something else. This wonderful thing, worst plane of all. I believe they're gonna have a look into it, so it might actually become a bit better over time. The same goes for some other stuff like monster trucks and that kind of stuff. Pop. Oh my god, don't have many planes here, I just noticed. The edge or the slick? Gonna go for the slick, I think. Yep. Yeah, yes, something like that, Thomas, right? It's like, if you have 10 seconds on the 10-second penalty on some of these tracks, that would make a huge difference. Huh? The idea, of course, is it is a summit. You do like tracks, okay, this week is an exception with these long tracks, but in general, you do tracks which are like 2-3 minutes. If you make a huge mistake, you go off track, then it's pretty simple. You start again. What is 2-3 minutes in a lifetime, you know? And they can leave the back on track for for people that cruising around in free roam, and so I don't have a problem with that. But not in a competitive format. It has no meaning. It's the same in PvP. You have these people, they go off track, they use reset, then they slipstream with 2-3 of them, and they get back up your ass, although they were like 5 seconds behind or whatever. Also there, same story there. Okay, let's start with the arrays, I guess.
Three, two,
Yeah, I would like to see all kind of changes, obviously, but yeah, we of course we know a little bit what's going on, and we know what they don't want to do, and so. But even programming-wise, I think disabling it would be like the easiest way to fix it, and it would please a lot of people. If you don't want to go over all of these tracks and put some extra checkpoints in there or something like that, which they are taking it in consideration for new tracks and all that kind of stuff. But with retrospective, you're probably not going to go back and put like extra checkpoints where needed. So then something like disabling it would not take that much time or manpower or whatever. See, we have perfectionists here on display. Just realize, don't have to be that close to the gates. You're gonna get perfect anyway. That's sort of what the perfectionist does. You don't have to be that perfectly through the line. If you're somewhere in the area, like here, sort of, that will give it. 145.2, yeah, whatever they are doing, I don't know, but I'm assuming somewhere 18, 20, whatever, 34. Oh, okay, not even that bad. Usually I'm 15 seconds away with the air race planes. Some reason or another I can't go fast with those things. So these are like two events which are new sort of goal that we go for. In the beginning of this series, completely nope. I wasn't, of course, but our driver was a completely nope because he had no upgraded vehicles or anything like that. So that's how we started this series. Now we have all the yellow sets and everything like that. In the beginning we tried to get 100,000 points in most of these events, and tried to get around 1,100,000 with the bonus, and that was usually good enough. Now of course more and more people have yellow sets. 1.1 million is not good enough. It is now 919,000 is the platinum at this moment, but we're only Saturday. The thing runs till Tuesday. By Tuesday it's around 1.1 million for normal summits, and when it's a premium summit you go towards 1.2 million at least on PC to get into the platinum. And so yeah, we have some new goals. Try to get above 150,000 in the skills, and try to get 125 or 130,000 in the other events. That means that the escape as the air race is not that good at the moment, with 119,000 points. The powerboat, yeah, we put the parts on, I think, right? Let's go. Okay, Thomas, bring me one as well, please.
3, 2.
That might be an idea to get a coffee before I do the long races. These powerboats, I always have to pay attention very well to where I'm going. Oh. Moment. We are still on the boy setting. 0. Do we need brakes? Probably not. Buoyance is 8, I think we put that right. 8, 8, 6, something like that, and we're gonna do with the drift assist halfway. try again.
Three, two, one.
You're gonna win this easy peasy wins.
We have like 2 corners and a half here in the beginning, I think. And the rest is pretty much straightforward. That's why I always have to pay attention for these tracks, because I've done them like 3 times in the beginning. How twisty and agile the little jet sprints are. How straight and heavy and boring the power boats are, for me personally, of course. Might be some people out there who actually enjoy this discipline, but me not so much. I find it's like drag racing. It's like just go straight, barely any corners, boring as hell. But of course, don't take jumps because it will slow you down. Crew 3, get rid of it, planes and boats. Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen, I'm afraid, because... Well, first of all, the Crew 3 is gonna be not for tomorrow. This is not a Forza or a Need for Speed game, which are basically 1 or 2 year titles. A game like the Crew goes for 4 or 5 years. 136,055 points, that sort of compensates for our poor air race and escape. We're sort of back on the 125,000 points that we're on average looking for in these events. Which leaves us with the big land thing. Oh yeah. 4GT. The idea of this game, as it is now, an open world, USA open world, USA motorsports, many disciplines, all kind of motorsports which are available in real life in the USA. And that's why we have planes and boats and so. They had this planned from the beginning basically, only 4 or 5 years ago it was not possible, more or less. And technically, and that's why we had not planes and boats in that first game. But otherwise we would have had exactly the same what we have now. That was the original idea, although some people think it was the other way around. But see, we did not have planes and boats. In the first game they sort of had to come up with some backup story, which then sort of became a bit more underground with smuggling and gangs and all that kind of stuff. But the original idea was all motorsports in the USA, as we have it now. So this is more, let's say, what Fergus wants from the game than the Crew 1 actually was. Hypercar. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Uh, 4GT. Where do we have? What do we have on here? Nothing. Oh yeah, I have a muddy set here. Oh no. Apparently I don't. I was working on that on this driver, I guess. No. It's gotta be on here somewhere. It's gotta be on here somewhere. Here it is. Just gonna put that muddy set on the 4GT instead of the nitro set I already have. What is this? Muddy and pure, and what is the other one? Frenetic and muddy. More muddy, more frenetic. And we lose 3, yeah, that's fine. I'll just put this one on. Doesn't matter that much anyway, as we know. Here we have like 3 nitropods. Frenetic, muddy. This one is maxed out. Muddy 8, pures. It's not we're gonna go off-road or anything, but I just want to put my second set on and keep the other set on the other car for later. Why doesn't it when you need 100k? Yeah, that's somewhere at the end of Summit Batch number 3, I think. So that will be, I don't know, February, March somewhere, I don't know. Somewhere in that region. Of course, yeah, why and all that kind of stuff we cannot say. But as a player, those are things I would like to know, and that's why I share it. Whether they like it or not, I don't care. 5 million bucks shortly needed, and later on 100,000 crew credits needed. For what you will see when it is there. The hypercar, why did I put a muddy set on here now? Pretty simple, because this is a team track. You need a full team here, slipstreaming. So whatever you do solo, doesn't matter. If you put a nitro chemist set on there with pure and extra pump, or a muddy set, who cares? You're not gonna be anywhere close to the top times, because they are slipstreaming the hell out of this track. And those are, of course, times which you cannot reach solo. That's why I quickly put on a muddy set on this, and just try to set a time, and that's it. Yeah, the crew credits is not. If you take in consideration, oh, God, I do it again. I always do this. Just drive in automatic, but then you use manual for that escape or so, and then you forget to put it back. It's not that hard if you think about it. You don't even have to do the daily contracts like every day. Just do them like every 3 days. You get 1 contract per day with a maximum of 3. So if you check in every 3 days and do the 3 events, and don't re-roll them for to get a 1500, just whatever it is, how, yeah, even if it's like demolition derby and kill 15 enemies or so, something like that. That's what it sometimes is. Do 9 PvP races, those are like the big ones for 5,000 crew credits. Yeah, just do them. It's like, it's the easy way to get your 100,000 or more. Always good to have more as well. Also one of those tracks go to PvP, and it's up in the list. People choose it. Huh? Don't ask me why, because first sharp corner they fly out. It's sort of, I don't know. It's like the little eagle of the Q1. It was sort of the same. In this game, it's big land. We have the kids in the game there on PvP, and the track is in the playlist. They choose it every freaking time, 6, 7, 8 times in a row. Welcome to the wonderful sky or something we were flying. Yeah, that's the other thing.
3,
On this driver, I'm not in a million years.
1.
What do you mean, Thomas? Don't? We should fast forward and do the draft. We should get points for style clips. The second one was not so stylish, but the first one was pretty stylish. I made it land, but also something I see in PvP here. On that corner here, very often people like all the way to the right they go there, and then you have that sharp right corner, and then and then they fly out, and then they wonder why. Driving lines? What is that? Never heard of it. You can do 470. In the beginning I cruised around a bit with that Ford GT. Could stay a bit more on the road, I guess, at this point. Wonderful jump corner here. Another one of those coming. The only benefit that this track has is that yeah, there's actually something happening on the map here now, on this part of the map. You have this one, and what's the other one? Yeah, you have the one with the jumps, Main Highland East, also one of those. And then the other, I can't remember the name of that. Collecting such stuff on video when I do it, and we'll do a blooper. Oh yeah. Pretty sure you can find many of those. Sometimes by your own mistakes, sometimes just by the wonderful physics of the game at some of the in certain disciplines. In rally rate you can find one blooper after another. What is the result of this? 123,000. Yeah, that's as good as it can gonna get. We can pull up a few seconds there, but it all does not matter because people are doing 225, 226 in team. It's as simple as that. So all the rest does not matter. If you do it solo, don't bother with that a track like that, because you know that's gonna be a team effort thing to get the good scores there. That's how you play, if you like. If you play for a top 10 or so, that is how you need to play it. It's like you need to be here every day. Check it. What are people doing? Where are they improving compared to the competition you have in the top 10? And then you have to come back and do it again and again. They are improving there, then you have to improve there as well. That is how you eventually end up there and keep your position for the rest of the week, which is defending the whole week long. But also there it's not really competitive. You cannot win anything. If you end in 2,999th or you end in first, it's exactly the same. You get exactly the same rewards. So there should be some sort of I don't know, on a monthly basis, some sort of trophy or something. They should make it more competitive. Summit is not competitive enough, because they made it in such a way that it's too casual in general. Touring car, yeah, it doesn't matter what we do now. We have two 15-minute races and we have a 30-minute race. No matter how we do it. That touring car, I just bought that. That is completely not tuned at all. That is something we have to look into before we go. Let's do that one first. What one is that? That's Los Angeles to Seattle, I think. Let's start with the stars. That is fine. First thing first, camber to 0. The only way we can make a car steer more or less on keyboard. Seeing we do not have linearity or sensitivity or anything then that we can mess about, because it's completely grayed out. Anti-roll bars, we start at 910 or 810. I think it was 910 that I put on the other. Just on the road, I go for 2324 on the suspension. Big gearbox. Why do we have 390 kilometers an hour as top speed? That doesn't seem to be correct. Okay, 400 apparently. 401. 402. 403, but the handling goes to the right. That's not ideal. What's the lowest we can get? Apparently it is, what is that, 3? That goes up, that's 400. That's too long gear, so we're gonna put it on 9. The only thing we have to figure out now is brake balance. How do I do that? Pretty simple, I look at brake distance, the lowest number. That's where I put the slider. 1896, 17, 16, 1534, 1462, 1429. Apparently that seems to be on 1. 14 meters and 29 is the lowest I can get. So that will be our setup. But I remember, I think that's sort of what I did on the other driver as well. It was okay, but it was more or less a bit understeering. So maybe I go for 810 on the anti-roll bars. Let's try it. If we end up in the sea, then we end up in the sea, right? Yeah, that's sort of what I have now. But the only thing I changed now is the anti-roll bars on the front. I put on 8 instead of 9. We'll see. But yeah, doesn't matter that much. I'll get a cigarette for my cruise. I think it in 15 minutes something on my other driver,
3,
including a few visits to the forest and so we'll see. Weather was fine when I did it on my other driver. Also, that is something we're gonna have to be lucky with. This race might be okay, but like something New York, if you have bad luck, you're gonna get snow or rain half of the track. Also, that is some sort of bug. It is not meant to be like that. These things should have fixed weather conditions, but for some reason or another it does not work in some tracks. All looked into. One day or another it will improve, sure. Yeah, now we have a bit more oversteer than putting it on 9. But I'd rather have a bit of oversteer than understeering vehicles. I hate that. So this 810 is a little bit better than 910, I think, on the anti-roll bars. Top speed according to the menu was 400. We were just doing 410 there. Also, that it's just an indication to where put the gearbox, but it's not the exact top speed. And you can of course get more top speed if you put the gearbox on 10. But that makes it slower acceleration wise. In general, I run 9 or 8 on the gearbox. Some of the gearbox need to put on 8, but mostly I put them on 9. Of course, if you do something like big land in a team, yeah, then you go for 10 because then you just want the highest top speeds. Wrong way? I don't think so, my friend. Then you need to put your checkpoints better. Can we make it or not is always the question here. Can we make it to that jump on the road? Yeah, more or less. Not ideal. Could have been better. You can actually land on the asphalt, but so far so good. Compared to the other drivers, where I was already a couple of times in the forest, I think. Wednesday or Thursday I did a bit of messing about on my other driver to set some scores. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do in like 2 weeks time with the repeat of those things. I have those cars on both drivers, so I fully want to give people a second chance to get those cars. So if I don't drive with 2 drivers, that's already 2 people more that can win a car, right? But I will do something, have a look. Maybe concentrate on a few events and actually try to get the top 5 or so in one of those. Something like that. Or just leave 1 or 2 events open, right? Dude. That's of course a little bit the downside of driving with a hood cam is you not always see what the rear of the car is doing. When you see it, it's usually too late if it breaks out or so. Especially with Lamborghinis, because they don't have much of a hood. You only see it appear on your screen sometimes when you're braking, but that's about it. Favorite section of the whole track. Wonderful wood section here. With bumpy understeering corners mostly, but seems to be okay now. Yeah, I like this setup more than the 910 setup. Had to happen someday. Not do 15-minute track without not hitting a wall. Just not happening. Hello Lunar, what's up? over here the sun, that's for sure. Which is good, eh? I guess they're saving all the bad weather for the New York race. Yo, thank you. It's a bit more twisty. Need to be a bit careful going on the power, coming out of the corners. With the 810 setup, it's oversteered a bit. Approaching Seattle. Going to control the rear. I guess you have to go over the rocks there to not hit that barrier. Always hit it. $15.23. Not really putting effort into it, but it's good enough for 130,000 points, which is more than we want from this. What are people doing here? 11 minutes, 12 minutes? Oh, 13:20. So they're doing about 2 minutes faster. Actually going for it, probably with some slipstream to go with it. That's how it usually all of these tracks is like that, because that's what it is. What are they doing here? I have a 12:56 here with my other driver, and they're doing 10:40. So yeah, also here about 2 minutes faster. And then of course, yeah, New York. 23:56 GoPro MX. I don't think. Is there anybody coming close to that? Probably not. Nope. 1 minute and 20 seconds for second place. So we actually did manage to get under 24 minutes now, because they put in New York with no traffic. $26.05. All using the Egoista. That's not what we're gonna use, because we don't have that on this driver. First things first, what are we gonna use here? That's a good question. Egoista, egoista. Like there is no other car. That is a good question. What are we gonna use? First sort out these parts here. Because yeah, of course, that is the benefit of these things. You get one part for each of your 7 different ones. In these short races, and in the long races you even get 1 or 2. $347 with 1.2 million points on PS4. I don't know where we're gonna end up, we will see. I quickly did it with my main driver. I finished in 93rd at that moment in time, but that was in the beginning of the week. Haven't touched it since. I think I scored a bit more than 1.3 million something. What are we doing now? Let's have a look. We are already into the platinum. We have 941,000. We still have Detroit and New York to go, and of course that also means we still have the 100,000 bonus for doing the 9 events. That still needs to come our way. So yeah, it's gonna be somewhere around 1.250, 1.3 million. 1.3 million is sort of the goal that we go for every week now. In the beginning we put that goal way lower because a lot of people did not have yellow parts yet. Now they do, so you need to set your goal higher. I did New York race and I got a 31.18. I did on my main driver 29 minutes and 10 seconds. That's like, I think it's like the first time that I more or less quickly tried to drive it a bit more quicker. First time I properly went under 30 minutes, I think. I do this usually for money. I cannot be bothered like go over 30-minute track to check for every shortcut and reset and whatnot, because obviously that is what all those guys are doing. They're flying through the woods and all that kind of stuff. All those guys that are going way under 30 minutes. No doubt about it. Detroit, yeah, we need a car, eh? Which one are we gonna drive? That's a good question. Detroit to Miami is the next one. Pop, 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 pop. I have the nitro set on the Bugatti Divo Magma. That's the car that I used on my main driver. That's also the car I'm going to use on this one, because I don't have the Egoista on this one. But what are we going to use to drive Detroit Miami? No idea. We will take this muddy set and put it on a certain car and just go with it, eh? Go with the flow, right? Pop, 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 pop. Do we have the pista on this driver? Oh yeah, we do. Which has a wonderful steering, but yeah, we like to punish ourselves, so we're gonna put it in anyway. No, that's not the right word, is it? Let me go back into this. Why is this even in here? It's too low. Move. And we never have money to recalibrate, so can as well move those parts. Gives you 1200 scrap. We put muddy in it, because with the pista, more than likely, we're gonna end up somewhere in the wonderful world of the trees, I'm assuming. Let's have a look. Settings, do we have settings? Yeah, we do have some settings here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 10, 10, 10. I'm not so sure about that. Can we go to 9? Again. Put on the parts, it does not give the correct numbers. Go back out and in again. Now we're getting somewhere. 446, it gives on 9 and 10. 435 on 8, so it's definitely not 8. It's gotta be 9 or 10. That's quite some long straight, so we're probably gonna go for 10. Put everything on 10, and over here we go for 3. 1, 2, 3. We have 577 5 0 0 obviously, and 7 5. Let's see how that goes. Probably not great because this car has a strange way of steering, but we'll use it anyway. Detroit to Miami. More or less what we're gonna do. Why do we have to select this car? I just picked it up as a favorite.
3, 2, 1.
Seriously, go faster.
10 is like not good. Six gear is too long if you put that gearbox on 10, but yeah. Especially on the end you have some very long straights where you can need the best upbeat you can get. Oh fine, you can go over the grass, we have muddy on it. It's quite enjoyable that you don't have to worry about traffic behind every jump or every hill, but at the same time makes the world pretty empty, doesn't it? Because you're in a race, of course, you're also not in a free roam session, so you do not see other drivers or anything, or other players. Definitely my favorite section here. My god. Not, of course. It's kind of okay this way, but if you do it like in the campaign event, you have traffic here and so, oh my god. Oh. That's why you shouldn't attempt to cut if you don't know the cuts. Especially with a pistol. Not avoidable. Like here, for sure there is a cut because the checkpoint is on the left side there somewhere. But I'm not going to attempt it, probably fly over all over the place. Pretty racing basics, that's what they need to learn at Ivory Tower. And one of those basics is put checkpoints in the corners. But also in such a way that people cannot go through their full throttle and press reset. They need to put it like, yeah, just behind the corner or something. Preferably behind the rock or something that they can hit all those cutters and then all that stuff is over. like that. Put a checkpoint here and then they cannot cut from the right or the left side because there are barriers there. So nevertheless, they're going to attempt to try to jump over those barriers because that's how they do things. But we'll at least improve it a little bit. Cars are similar to all these new cars. They're pretty okay. They can turn right, they can turn left, but if you have like a combination of corners in one after another, that's when these cars start behaving very strangely. So you have some sort of after steering going on. Those Evos have that as well. So I have to like steer in the corner and then counter steer to the other side to more or less put it straight, although it is not oversteering. Here steer to the right and then to the left to put it straight again. Although the rear doesn't oversteer or anything like that, but well, one thing is stored. This pista drives way better than the first time we used it on that touring car track or something. Where it's actually on the road, it's not even that bad. Even in those small S corners, that's where you have a problem with these newer cars. I don't know what they've done in it. Or 70 something, the top speed of this thing. Yeah. That's why people are using Egoistas and Bugattis, they go over 500. I thought that was gonna be one big crash. Somehow get away with it. This is the moment of the wonderful bridge at 66% where you completely lose the blue line. It does not reappear unless you reset somewhere. Small things reported several times. One day they might actually have a look at it. Who knows? Close to that, whatever it is that we hit there on the side. And that is yes. These things we hit, you see? Yep, that's what I mean. The after steering, the wonderful thing. Out here. Approaching Miami. Other than that, go to the last straight line, although it goes a bit zigzag, but we finish in Miami on the beach. What we're doing here is first to the beach, as some people gave up as one of their answers for the little giveaway contest. Which of course was not the treasure we were looking for, but... Rain! Wonderful! Just wonderful. Doesn't matter that much for this one, but we still have New York to do. It's not very promising. Because for this one it doesn't matter, we're almost there. But for New York, that's a bit of a problem. Wheel spinning. $13.09, that will do, I guess. 170, yeah, but can go faster, obviously. What have we used on our other driver? Oh, I did use the Egoista there, but also there didn't put much effort into it. Did a 1256 with that one, so. Can probably do a low 12 or a high 11 or so, if it really matters, but it doesn't. At this moment, 1,059,000 with New York to go, and also the bonus. So yeah, just under 1.3 we're gonna end up, I think. I don't think I'm gonna score 150,000 points in New York. $125, $130, somewhere in that region. we're gonna score. So that's gonna put us around 1,285,000, I think. Also here, just like in Los Angeles, sort of similar races time-wise as well. You get one part for each of your 7 vehicle parts. We have the pure nitro thing on this one here. We're gonna use this one. As I said, I do not have the egoist on this driver. But before we do that, last race, I'm gonna get a coffee. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, back again. Let's see what we can make from it. I haven't checked the settings, but
3, 2, 1.
I'll stop running as soon as you start driving.
seems like it stopped raining, so that's already a good thing. We do gonna have nighttime, I think. much to the right. So there are some logs there on the right where you can get stuck. Just gonna aim for somewhere under 30 minutes. Okay, maybe not. Why the oversteer every time? This has it, this one has it, there are a few others who have it. Basically all the Noob cars have it. Night time. Can we use the helicopter? It's the only one that has proper lights. Tried. They tried to put me in the tree. Dick. Only put myself against trees sometime. Don't let the game do it for you. Oh, come on. 1/5 of the race done, 6 minutes. That kind of suggests 30-minute time. You do it times 5, but yeah, that's not exactly how it works in this track. You have slow sections, you have fast sections. And a sliding driver to go with it, by the way. If I keep steering like this, I'm not gonna go under 30 minutes. Yep, that is for sure, but yep, we know that. They did the just the same solution they did in the Gru one. Just brighten up the game with oh yes. With some sliders. It's not so much about the headlights. The headlights are working properly. The only problem is it's the reflection. Reflection towards other vehicles, towards walls, towards trees, towards whatever is out there in the environment of the game. That's what not properly working. And I stick to that point that I have. That's not because they cannot fix it. That is because the consoles would not cope with it. That is my opinion. That's why they don't fix it, because some of them are already struggling as it is. PCs would be able to handle that. Yeah, that error is a wonderful one. Can happen sometimes. Or the wonderful Windows update or something popping in when you're like 85 or 90% into this race. But yeah, you have these things, you know. Sometimes it can happen. I was watching earlier today, Jimmy Broadbent is doing the Race for Health or something, right? Don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's live streaming at the moment in on YouTube. 24-hour race in iRacing, I think they are doing it. So sort of race for charity, and they're raising money for charity while they're doing it. And they started that thing, and of course they drive with teams. It's 24-hour race, although there are one or two fools who actually decide to do it solo. And they were like driving 40-minute practice and 20-minute qualification, and then the actual race started. 24 hours. GT1 cars and touring cars, TCR, combination of those two. So they start driving. They have like, I don't know, 40-50 teams in there. And then he realized that he had set the teams on actually on one person, so they could not change driver. Things like that happen, you know. So they had to restart, but luckily they figured it out after like 20 minutes into the race and not like, can you imagine that being after 3-4 hours into the first pit stop or something when they realized, hey, we can't change driver. We're not doing pretty good though. Approaching the tunnel 13 minutes, I think that's allowed to do. I think we had about 16 minutes or so in Salt Lake City. 21 in Las Vegas, I think. Don't think we're gonna reach that this time. Maybe. Would already depend on how we go on this thing here. Brake thing. Don't flip, don't. Don't want to flip here because, yeah, if you have to reset it, puts you all the way back on the highway. It's an exit of a highway, but it actually is an entry because also there, I think that's a bugger. That should be a 2-lane or a 4-lane exit. And it's sort of merged. It's like you go exit and and then you have suddenly traffic cars coming into you if you do it in like 3 or more. 1610 Salt Lake City. I think we had 15 minutes here or so. I don't even know where I am. Left, right over the highway? No, left apparently. Yeah, some people out there, my friends, they think they are gods. Till they actually meet one of the better drivers out there, and then they get smoked with 2 minutes or whatever. That's how it goes. The same in PvP, some people think they're like super fast in PvP and all that kind of stuff. While majority of the competitive people are not even driving PvP, so doesn't mean a thing. Going out of Las Vegas. Should have some indicator on that. But I always forget to have a look on those things. That is something that I also would like to see show up at one day or another. That you actually get a time difference with your personal best time. Now it's giving me like every 10 minutes or whatever. Let's exaggerate this. Let's say every 5 minutes or so you get like a time indication on your screen to let you know how far the AI is behind you. Nobody cares for that. But if you would have like some sort of checkpoint indicator that tells you like, okay, green if you're faster than your personal time and red slower than your personal time, that would be way better than what we have here now. Like 10 minutes into the race and the AI is a minute behind. Who cares? Well, if they're like a minute or a minute and 5 behind, they are a minute behind, you know. I don't need a time indication to tell me that. Here we go, 6 minutes and 13 they are behind. towards platinum in PvP? Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Doesn't mean a thing. Not one single thing. People out there, they have like 2 accounts or whatever, or 2 drivers. They go into a lobby, they go play some demolition derby, half the field leaves, they stay in there with their 2 drivers, and they get their platinum rank in demolition derby. And occasionally they come to the race PvP, or when demolition derby is not available, yeah, they have no other choice if they want to play PvP. And your platinum rank, you're racing them, first corner they already fly out, because they got their rank in demolition derby and they're not racers actually. That should be separated leagues, a racing league and a fun league or something like that, but not all merged together. Yeah, PvP is something they don't understand the importance of that. The summit is definitely something that keeps us busy, but in a way, yeah, like now I'm driving solo here, don't have to worry about it. I'm driving against some normal AI which are like 6 minutes behind. So you do not have to worry that you're gonna lose the race here. So the only multiplayer aspect that you actually have is the PvP, and that is set up. First of all, it was 6 months too late. And when it finally got there, the setup is not what it should be, is it? So the proper competitive players, they don't even touch that. But not a priority, you know. Kids and casuals. That's the priority. That's why I've also, you see it sort of coming to the summit as well. More and more is like, more and more is based on the casual thing. Everybody should be able to play summit and that kind of stuff. I do not agree with that. The summit is supposed to be a competitive format, then it should be competitive, and it should not be like too casual. Maybe they do want to put AI in there, that's all fine, but then at least put the ace mode AI in there and not the normal mode. The only thing they do is bother you on the start. And of course, yeah, fix bloody checkpoints that you don't have this. This is like a 4% cut. We're at 82%. You just have to be a bit gentle here, because obviously same problem as before. If you have to reset here, if you flip over or something, it puts you all the way back up top on the mountain. So you better be careful if you go downhill here a bit. But it's 2 minute cut more or less. 1 minute and a half, 2 minutes. Keep on driving here. What I usually do is keep on driving until the rocks here somewhere. More or less until you see the GPS show up again. And then you can reset, and then it puts you on the bottom. You have one corner at the left and you have the 86% checkpoint. So it's like, okay, you're spending some time in the grass there, but other than that it's 4 minute cut. 4% cut. It's like, it's crazy. Actually it's not even that bad time. If you have that checkpoint under 26 minutes, then it's not that bad. I think we're gonna do a time 30 minutes something. I think my guess. Might be 31 as well though. But like that 4% cut that can easily be solved by putting one more checkpoint on the track. If you follow the normal road, you go all the way down the mountain hill to some sort of sharp hairpin, and then you come back towards where we saw the respawn now. So if they just put in that hairpin, put a checkpoint, one extra checkpoint, then this 4% cut is solved. Pretty simple. So I'm only driving the street race? Yeah, that's another one of those things. I am pretty sure that the majority does not want collisions on. And that's the only lobby you have available is the street race. But at the same time it's boring as well. Because you have like one day you have the city tracks, which I don't like at all. Those are like all things flying around, and that for 2 or 3 laps on the same track, because those are all loop tracks. I would like to see a race lobby with collisions up, because we just have to with all those kids and casuals, how the people can't drive. But then with all disciplines in there. I don't care if there's aerobatics or whatever in there, it's fine, let's just do it. One mixed lobby with collisions up. Every day available to play. And not these daily changes in that mixed thing. It's like one day if you're demolition derby, don't even want to play that, so yeah, just stay out of PvP that day. And the street race, yeah, if you do everyday PvP, it's gotta be boring by now, right? You have 16 disciplines and there are 2 available, street and hypercar. And the hypercar at like 1 or 2 tracks, so it's basically a street race. Yeah, of course. To make sure that we don't hit the 30 minutes. Below 30 minutes, we just hit the 3 in the last corners. Well, we still might make it though. No, it's another corner. Oh no. Nope. It's gonna be more than 30. Yep, that's 1-3. Maybe. 30 minutes. 30 minutes flat, 0.799. Couple of mistakes here and there. And not on the edge either, because yeah. Then you take another car or so, but this car is fast enough to do 30 minutes or sub 30 minutes. I also think it is the best Bugatti, although it has a bit of strange steering, but 1,289,000, including the 100,000 bonus, because we've done all the 9 events. Thanks for the follow, by the way. And this wonderful feed is also very well working. Not. So, 1.3 million is our goal. We need 11,000 points. Where are we gonna have to find them? Can we get them in the air race? Not exactly, by the looks of it. Oh, okay. My friends that I have on this driver are have been very competitive, I see. Not. Didn't bother with this event by the looks of it. What can we gain here? Let's have a look. Yeah, these are times that I cannot do, I think. And they also don't give that much. 121. What did we have? 120. Yeah, 5,000-6,000 you can win there. It's gotta be that. It's gonna be that stupid speed trap, obviously, because there they are scoring 140, 150,000. So yeah, we need to get those 11,000 points out of that speed trap. Yo 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 yo. You know what? We are in this thing. Let's try that. Let's try that thing. See how far we can get with it. And what I've also noticed. Where's traffic? Where is my traffic? Okay, so do New York fast travel to this escape and you have no traffic? Really? Oh. Should have just shut up. Just in the beginning. Oh. Oh my god, why do I steer like that? Yeah. To use a drag car. We need to get to this bridge, boost in a drag car, get to 600 kilometers an hour and just drive to Daytona for 20 kilometers. Yeah, we won 1,000 points. Wonderful. Okay, let me think. Let me think. The track car is just not working for me. So I guess we have to go for a Formula 1 car. Bike is not fast enough. Formula 1 car is also gonna be too wide, I guess, to get between the walls in traffic. climb the wall, by the way. That halo is also a wonderful invention. We can't see where you're going, but yeah. Yeah, that's a problem. The problem is that the RB14 is faster than the RB13, which I don't even have on this thing. We can of course put the parts on the other, but let's try that. Why do you have two score breakers? Oh yeah, this wonderful thing here that we won from the summit. A score breaker with slipstream and drag bump or something. I need to talk to the dev, whoever thought that was a good idea. Drag bump and slipstream, it's like... I don't think there's anybody out there who uses that. Definitely that way, because if you go the other way, yeah, you drive yourself into that at the keys, because there is no more road there, right? So we definitely have to go to Miami, Daytona, New York. That's the road to go, but hey, find a new road. Welcome to exploring the world. My God. Is that dropping off? Yeah. Oh, I guess I just need to concentrate and take these corners properly. Can you get out of the way with this? Pick up Silverados. Alan Prost arrived or something, by the looks of it, on his livery. Didn't work out as planned. Need to cut this corner way more can immediately get on the road, I think. Once we get on the, if you make it to the bridge on that highway, you're off. You're off for 20 kilometers or so. That is magnetic bloody tires. Not near that wall, it just pulls the damn thing in here. Bloody fucking traffic car. That's already 7,000 points. But we needed 11, I think, right? Let's have a check. We can gain a bit more in the air race, for sure. And also here, yeah, there's still... oh, we made it into 1.3 million, our goal. So messing about with that Formula 1 car was good enough. Yeah, I don't know if we can do 25, but can definitely do 26 over here. 226, that is, with a team. I think last time we did... last time was with the Chiron, I think, right? I think we went under 20 there, I think. The touring car is more or less okay, 130 here in New York. Detroit can also be faster, obviously. The air race we can improve if we want to. 1.3 million was a couple of months ago, that was good enough for the top 10. Now that is good enough for a top 200, especially if you do it on Friday. Of course, if you do this on a Wednesday morning and make a video of it, then it's probably still good enough for a top 10, because half of the people have not done all the events yet, you know. 1.3 million is our goal for every week, and that is what we reached. And on the Saturday, that means top 100 to 250 by the looks of it, this one. Of course, I don't mind doing those long races for money and to grind a bit. But I am not going to concentrate and cut every corner for 30 minutes or 15 minutes in those long races. That's not something I'm gonna do. Can reach the top 100, can reach the top 10 if I want to, but for this it's just easy way to get into platinum. Even on a Saturday evening, we make it into the top 200, which is also a score you do not have to worry about on Wednesday morning, that it will be dropped to out of the platinum. That will not happen. If you aim for 1.3 million, at least in this moment in time, that is still platinum guaranteed week after week. That was it for this one. I will see you guys in the next one, and that will be tomorrow, 6 PM for the giveaway stream on YouTube. Bye for now.